Hey y'all, I'm back, and this time we are going to be doing a 12 by 12 layout of a very old Christmas photo. This one is from 2015, and if you saw my live flip through of my 2015 albums, you've gotten a little sneak peek at this layout because I used it to finish up that set of albums. There were 3 albums! Oh my gosh, it's a lot of albums, but when you have 5 kids, you're going to take a lot of photos, and I've just come to the realization that's okay. I have the space right now. I'm just going for it. So for this photo, I had purchased a really cute little felt tree, and the idea was that you hang it up on the wall, and your toddlers could decorate it, and hopefully it would distract them from the real Christmas tree. Now, as you can tell from the title of this video, that didn't work out so great. My twins are absolutely obsessed with the Christmas tree. Even now, at 5 years old, they love the Christmas tree. And at this point, they were 2, and it was definitely still the case. So that little felt tree didn't really go over as well as I had hoped, and ended up in a heap on the floor and didn't go back up. But I really wanted to document this really funny story. The photo doesn't say a whole lot by itself. It's not a really exciting photo or a brilliant moment in time. But the story behind it, I think, is one that needs to be shared with my kids. As you can see, Olivia is disassembling the tree in this photo. And while that doesn't seem to be that exciting, I want you to keep in mind that sometimes the story behind the photo is more important than the photo itself. Sometimes the story is explained well by the photo. In this case, I knew I was going to have to add a lot of journaling. So I'm purposely using a design that leaves me plenty of space for journaling. And I wanted to step away from the Christmas decor and the Christmas themed products that I'm using in my December daily because I need a break. I don't know about y'all, but I need a break from December daily products. And as much as I love them, as beautiful as they are, I get a little overwhelmed by all the Christmas products and trying to stick to the Christmassy theme for an entire month. Maybe that's my ADHD talking, who knows? But I needed a break. So got out this gorgeous pink Paislee Take Me Away collection that was designed by Paige Evans, and I love the color scheme in this collection. It's very pastel, it's very summery, it's got lots of florals, it's got some stitch patterns, it's got a wide variety of patterns. You get the nice bold along with the more subtle, and I love a collection that is well mixed between those 2 types of patterns, and Paige Evans does this beautifully. So I'm going to go ahead and map my photo twice, and then I'm going to start setting up my page. Now, the format that I end up going with is creating a bit of a band in the center, and then I have a layer above and a layer below. Now, the layer below is just a little branding strip from one of the papers, but you can't tell that when it's tucked underneath of the band that goes all the way across. So I'm creating the visual effect that there's more to that paper than there actually is. And that's kind of a fun effect to play with. Now, when I'm setting this up, I'm thinking of 2 things. I want to have plenty of room for journaling, and I want to have a rather large title. Because this photo isn't really terribly exciting on its own, I want to create some visual interest that explains the story without me having to go into a long explanation. So I'm bringing in some of the florals from the ephemera collection, and I have a feeling I'm going to be doing quite a bit of fussy cutting when I get this collection back out, because I ended up using quite a lot of the florals from the ephemera pack. This is the very last layout in the last album of 2015, because I wanted to pay homage to the fact that parenting is not for the weak at heart. You have to have a little bit of courage, a little bit of bravery to try out all of those things when you are a parent. You have to try, and you have to be willing to fail, pick yourself up, and keep trying. So in this title, it's called Pinterest Fail. And a couple of things I want to mention about that. Not only is it a Pinterest fail in that I got the idea from Pinterest and it didn't work out, but it also kind of leads you to think about the fact that even though it was a Pinterest fail, it was also a Pinterest try. And I think trying makes it worth it. You have to try if you're going to succeed. Yes, you may fail, but if you don't try, you definitely won't succeed. So I have taken one of the little frames from the ephemera pack and backed it with one of the 2x2 papers from the little 2x2 paper stacks, and it says, "Hey girl," which is kind of a thought process of, hey girl, quit destroying the tree. I am fluffing up the florals just a little bit so they don't lay completely flat and have just a little bit of depth and dimension to them. I have popped up that "Hey Girl" in the frame up onto adhesive foam. So again, that creates some dimension because there is a higher level as well as the lower levels. And those are an interesting thing to play with your layouts. This ends up being a very simple layout. And if you've been following me a while, you'll know I like to have a bit of both. I like to have the super busy or arty looking layouts, and then I like to have simple, paper only, no mixed media layouts like this. I'm adding in some chipboard pieces like these little butterflies, which you may be thinking, florals and butterflies are not very Christmassy, Laura. And you'd be right, but I don't mind. I don't mind stepping outside of my themed product and using something that maybe wouldn't be your first choice. I don't know how many people will jump into a summer collection and use it for a Christmas photo, but I like the idea of making my supplies work for the theme instead of the other way around. Instead of me forcing the theme that matches the supplies. So I've grabbed some of the washi from the Take Me Away washi booklet, and I'm just going to add this really cool kind of a copper washi that has die cut. It's die cut little florals. Love that. I love the idea of having a die cut washi to play with, to have those shapes to play with. And I'm going to pull up another little piece to tuck on the other side of the florals. You notice I didn't go all the way across because a lot of that washi is going to get covered up by those flowers. I don't want to waste it, and so I'm making it stretch. This little bit of copper gives such a difference to the layout. It really makes it feel finished. It's a fine detail, so it helps to make the band across the center a little bit more interesting and feel more like the end. It makes sense. This is the end. Now I've got a phrase from the Tim Holtz sticker book, and I'm going to chop it in half and use it as kind of a little bit of journaling strip, even though it's really not the journaling. I wanted it to be a little bit of encouragement and just kind of a mention about what's happening in the photo without actually saying what's going on. Now I'm going into the clear stickers. And one of the things that I love to do with clear stickers is if they are truly clear, you can put them on top of photos and it kind of looks like you've added some sort of app where you've added words or you've added phrases or decorations to your photo in an app, when actually it's just a clear sticker that you've added on top. I also reached for these Glitter Girl photo corners, which I don't use photo corners terribly often, but I wanted to make sure that the focus really was on my photo. Even though the story is kind of the main reason for this layout more than the photo is, because the photo isn't anything fancy, I still want the photo to be the main focus. That's just the way that I scrapbook, is that I want my photos to really pop off the page. And I think that little bit of gold helps to draw your eye into that photo. So now I'm just bringing some little tiny bits and pieces around the page from the clear sticker book. Then I will come in with some tiny enamel hearts and sprinkle those all around the page as well. I really like those tiny little details, and I really feel like it makes a big difference on the page and adds that little bit of detail that makes it feel finished. Now here are those enamel hearts. I will be sure to link below where I get these from Etsy, and they're sometimes available and sometimes not, so you got to kind of keep an eye on them if you really want to get them, and they are coming from China, so they do take a couple of weeks to come in usually. However, I will say that I'm always very happy with the quality of them, and so I continue to buy them. I am warming up my Nuvo drops in white and going to create a little butterfly trail stemming out from that butterfly and just kind of adding a little jaunty trail across the title, and that just adds a little bit of movement to the page and makes it a little bit more interesting. And then I'm doing a little bit of a splattering effect with the white Nuvo as well, and just adding little dots around the main elements to add a little bit of interest. And then of course, Heidi Swap Color Shine time! I am working through this bottle rather quickly, which in some ways breaks my heart, but I'm also rather interested to see what other options I have for Heidi Swap Color Shine. I did make a bit of a mess with it, one of those giant droplets that just sort of happens, and went ahead and covered it up with the sticker, because you can. You can easily cover up mistakes, guys. Do not worry about that. Also bringing in some of the sequins from this collection, and I'm just going to add a few bits and pieces for some sparkle all around the page with these sequins and my tonic glue pen. I really like this for adding sequins. I think it's super easy. I just add a glue dot onto the page, drop the sequin into place. I'm really excited by sequins lately, and I'm very excited that I can now share with you that I have been added to the Spiegel Mom Scraps sequin design team. I'm really excited to play. Not only does she sell sequins, she also sells wood veneer, which happens to be a personal favorite of mine, and I'm very excited to play with that too. So bringing in my journaling genie to add some lines, and I'm going to do some irregular lines. That way it adds a little bit of interest and brings your eye from the photo down to the story. And also it's just kind of fun. It just adds a little element to the layout that's kind of fun and creates a vertical line as well as a horizontal line that follows that band of paper. In this story, I'm just talking about my silly daughters and how much they did not care for this little fake tree and definitely wanted to play with a real one. I really appreciate all of you for joining me. Pardon the dog sneeze, and I hope you will check out some of my other videos coming up this week, including December daily videos. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!